Hi there, it's Ricky from Moshville Times here once again. This time I'm delighted to welcome vocalist Jeremy, keyboardist Alex, and guitarist Quinton from the UK-based and Gibraltar and everywhere based band Red Method. Now, Red Method play music in the vein of Slipknot, a bit of Gojira in there, a bit of Pantera in there, but they've also got a bit of industrial and death metal elements. So it's great to see you guys. How are you doing? How have you been since lockdown? Everybody, all your friends and family been okay?
Yeah, man. Fucking hell, Quinton. How you been?
Yeah, it's been an interesting time, I'm sure, for everybody, you know. But you know, we're all coping. We're all doing all right. What about you, Jeremy?
Yeah, man. Yeah, mental health has been fucking brutal, but you know, put it all on the writing the new record. So we nearly have a whole new record written already. So you know, it's just a matter of now tweaking and adding things and getting stuff ready. But yeah, we made the most out of it. That's for sure.
Well, that's actually what I was going to ask then. So with your debut album being released in, I think it was February 2020, have you guys been using this time constructively and written more songs?
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
well, go on.
Alex did you know, we worked on a reworks that came out a few months ago. You know, that kind of sustained us for a while. And apart from that, behind everything, you know, we've been busting our balls writing. We haven't stopped writing. And, you know, the new record is a different level, is much, you know, it's much heavier, it's much groovier, it's much more melodic. And it's just been constant, you know. We're nearly there in the completion of these, you know, 10 songs that we want to write, this masterpiece. And yeah, it's just been full on, isn't it, Quinton and Alex?
Yeah, like pretty much. It's like, even though, I don't know, I mean, we could have obviously just sat there and really done nothing with our time, but I think that with the way that the pandemic has gone, we just thought, well, we're onto too much of a good thing. We need to keep going. We need to, because it is quite a deflating thing. Obviously, you release an album called For the Sick, and then the pandemic happens, a global pandemic stops you from doing everything. So we've released, I think, 3 videos that were very much DIY made in the last year to sort of keep things going. You know, we've been working on other sorts of experimental type tracks in the background, as well as that, releasing the reworks. We're planning to, you know, re-kick off, you know, once we start playing live again and things open up. So, and on top of what Jeremy's been saying, writing the next stage of Red Method's career path, really, you know, and getting head on into that. So,
well, I'm certainly looking forward to hearing it. But Alex, how would you say the new material compares to For the Sick then? What would you say is the difference? What in your
difference? I think it's more, and I think the guys will agree with me on this, it's more us, more Red Method, and it's not finished yet, so I'm not sure how to, it's really good. It will knock your fucking socks off. But yeah, we're methodically going through it. We're at the middle stages, right? Would you say? So I don't know. For the Sick has a character. It has its own vibe. It has this album right now. Yeah, hasn't got a face. Just has badass riffs. So we're gonna give it a character and you know, a through line, and we might be releasing it in like a weird way. We're talking about it basically. We're just trying to stay relevant, trying to stay on people's radars, and don't want to lose our download slot.
Yeah.
No, I think when you guys hear this album, you'll be pleasantly surprised, man, no matter what kind of metal you're into, to be honest. It's heavy when it needs to be, and groovy when it needs to be, and melodic when it needs to be. So, yeah.
Cool. So are some of these songs old already, or like, did you use any songs, are they completely fresh, or did you use any ideas that you might have not used for the Sick and just brought them back to life again, or are they completely new?
It's completely new, really. All of it is completely new. There's a few ideas that I carried on from the Sick into this that could fit. Me and Quinton have been constantly on it, and trying this, trying that. But slightly, I would say only 10% that's been carried out from some of the things. But even that has been tweaked and it's been adjusted. We've injected it with a fucking ton of steroids and drugs. And
Injected with a poison.
I'm the teetotal one, by the way.
Clinton, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. But yeah, sorry. Cool. So with you guys being based all over, then how are you communicating your ideas to each other?
We haven't.
We have meetings quite a lot, man. We keep in touch. Like we have a little group. We really know what we're gonna do before we do it, to be honest. Let's say we had a meeting the other time to like see the direction of the electronics and where it's gonna go, and it's all very well planned out. We've been doing this shit for like 20 years, so we kind of know, how to do it, and it kind of helps not being able to be in the same room if you have quite a lot of experience doing it.
Yeah,
we're not just sending each other bullshit, because I think we're too proud to do that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Did you mean ideas in terms of new songs and writing?
Yes. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's pretty much it's that pretty much write a song pretty much from all of it. From the beginning till put the flesh and the bones into it, and then adjust if it needs to be adjusted, then we do it. But we don't send anything like, oh yeah, here's a riff, guys. Oh, do you like that? No, it's just a waste of time. I used to do that when you were in school. Yeah. Like, the songs are fleshed out completely from the beginning.
Listen to this.
And then people add whatever bits they want to add to it, if they want to add. Some of them don't even add anything, and that's cool,
I was actually going to ask if Quentin's the guy at 4 o'clock in the morning that sends you a riff.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I'm prone to do that.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, it's just that I live in and much like every one of my brothers here, man, we live and breathe this.
Yeah,
I think there's no question about it. So for us, it's always about the next thing. And one of the biggest things in any sort of band, and particularly with a band where we're kind of located everywhere at any given time, it is about communication at the end of the day, and how well you communicate. And that's sort of an unspoken thing within bands. I think they don't really talk about much is how they get stuff done. And with us, it's very much a case of like, okay, this is, someone might flesh out an idea, and they'll flesh it out in the form of sort of like a proposal, and then put it to the rest of the guys, get some people on board, and then go from there. And it's the same thing with the songwriting, to be honest. You might have someone that sat there going, right, I'm going to write a song from scratch, and give the most, the right vibe, the purest form of the idea out there. And then, everyone will latch onto it and go, right, okay, how do we make this better? And at the end of the day, it's about spreading the name out there as best as we can. And to do that, you've got to communicate effectively.
Yeah. So. Does the drummer even contribute?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, they all do.
I mean, for the Sick, it was me and the drummer pretty much that got that done, because it came from a different place basically.
Yeah.
And he did put the drummer did put some, a lot of ideas into the album.
Yeah.
For this one is a bit different, but
so what are you thinking? Are you thinking of doing like 8, 10, 12 songs, or are you going to release a singles first? What are your plans then?
Yeah, at least we're gonna have about 10 proper songs, and then have like a few interludes or stuff like that, like electronic interludes into it. So it's like a journey, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we'll see. Depends on producer, depends how quick we record it, depends where we are at the time, really.
Yeah. Well, that's
the beginning stages.
Yeah.
would be revealing too much if we.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we're still up in the air on how to release it, where, all that stuff.
I mean, I've pretty much interviewed like 15 bands that are playing Badgerfest so far. I have to interview every band. So, but they've all got their own ideas. They don't know whether to release an album or whether to release a song every month. They just don't know what's best to keep your name out there. Like whether
You
it's
can do both.
that's
I say just release a single till you release your album and then release the album.
yeah,
It's dance DJs have been doing it since the 80s,
yeah,
and like metal's catching up now. So
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Had you always thought that like the next release was going to be an album, maybe like, or did you consider even doing an EP?
we've considered doing we've considered all options, trust
Yeah,
me. And
Yeah.
we're just trying to get the most out of it. We don't want to blow our load quickly. I'd say like the question all the bands are having, I think it's a no-brainer. Just release singles
yeah,
till you get your album, you know?
yeah,
Well, at least release, I don't know, half the album in singles and then the whole thing or whatever you want to do.
Mm.
Otherwise, because there's no attention span out there anymore, you're just,
exactly.
yeah, you're fighting for air. So if you release your album, which is 13 tracks,
Yeah,
then that's it. No one cares. So to stay in people's mind, you have to, yeah, do the monthly thing 100%.
Yeah, especially in a time period like now where people feel like they have less time to do things. And the thing is, it's like, and then there's also the whole thing about, you're fighting for share of time and share of wallet, basically. And the thing is, in any sort of industry, and particularly within the entertainment industry, and I think, yeah, it's about seeing what's going on at the time as well, like because the the shifts in terms of consumption are going so quickly and changing and changing. Even what Jeremy was talking about earlier in trying to get shows now coming out of a pandemic world, it's all changed,
yeah,
and we've got to, as a band, adapt to that. And I think, well, yeah, I mean, we're constantly talking about how to do it. I just think it'd be, and as Alex says, probably too premature to probably reveal what that would be at this stage, because we have to see for sure.
cool. Yeah, thanks a lot for a lot of very valid points here. I mean, I review singles and EPs and albums as well. Sometimes when you get an EP and it's absolutely brilliant, you just want more. Oh, that's it, finished. Whereas with an album, you get a beginning, middle, of an end, and you've got the story, you've got all the lyrics and stuff like that. So, but again, as you say about the attention span, nobody's got it anymore. You might listen to 2 or 3 songs on the album and then you move on. It's like Spotify list, you know. But
It's crazy, man.
Exactly.
I mean, when I was growing up, like music was my life, man, and the bands I loved were, I don't know, they were everything to me. And
Gods.
I don't know if people growing up now feel the same way. They're more into like reality, like YouTube influencers, and like the whole music thing. I think is a secondary thought. And I think the kids that are really diehard into music, they're very special, man. And yeah, the musicians of our future. So those are the people we'd like to inspire.
well, one good thing as well for keeping your name out there, and you guys are really, really good at it, is videos. You guys aren't shy of doing videos. So is that something else that have you already got ideas of what you would like to do for the
Oh, Jeremy, tell him what we did this weekend, bro.
Yeah, tell him what he did. I was gonna let you on. Yeah, you guys talk about that.
Are you allowed to put this on the internet?
Yeah, we filmed our latest single, which will be our last single from the Sick, actually, which is a song called Israel, from a guy, a friend that killed himself, and we were trying to do a beat bit different to the average video, where it's kind of a bit, cliche, glitchy, where he kills himself because of whatever reason he did. And so we thought about reversing the idea, of reversing the whole fucking concept of the video. We learned the song basically. We had to reverse, which really it's the most abstract thing you could possibly do, and learn probably in drums, especially in vocals. And for me, from my point of view, it was hell learning the song reversed for vocals. It literally, I had to write word by word and like really create like a whole new language, so I could make sense in my head how the lyrics, more or less how they would go, you know what I mean? And then try and get it tight and in time with the music. So it was a big challenge. We built an installation, And then we built a pool where the performance was in a pool, and it was a full-on, absolutely diabolical, full-on weekend. But we did it. We were a good team, and we did it. We got across it, and every band member crushed it in the performances. And we can't wait to find a way how we're going to release this pretty soon. Hopefully in the next few, definitely not in the next month, but definitely in the next few months when we put a plan to it.
Well, again, you know exactly where to send it. We'll definitely give it some airplay. Really looking forward to seeing what you guys have got coming next. So,
like the one thing I would just kind of like to add to what both Jeremy and Alex are saying is, the topic of mental health sits pretty big in Red Method, and I feel like with this video that's upcoming, we've sort of bridged that notion in terms of showing some sort of representation of what mental health struggles are about, and the battle that people face on a day-to-day coming out of a pandemic especially, and how that sort of is interwoven with the story that you guys will see as it sort of unfolds within the video. And we're very much a band that is go hard or go home. We don't believe in putting out stuff that doesn't resonate with people, and I think this is probably our best one yet, I would say. And I know I'm biased, I'm in the band, but like for sure, like I can't I can only speak for my boys and my brothers.
It's
like
hard to
Jesus
describe
Christ.
it.
Yeah, like, I'm even getting choked up talking about it now, like from what we went through up to the point of it's going to come out. You'll see. This is nuts. Like crazy people.
Like I say, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, you're very, very capable of writing good songs, but it's the message that you tag along with the songs. And mental health is just absolutely huge in this moment in time, unfortunately. I mean, I'm involved in the counselling field as well, and it's just it's a shame. It's sad. Even youngsters. But hopefully now there's hope in the horizon, and the world will be a better place again, and people start feeling good about themselves. But I think it's a very important message, and somebody's always out there to listen. So don't be afraid to talk. So, very poignant message that you guys send. So with the recording of the debut album then, with the actual recording, are you going to be taking any ideas from the debut album onto the next album? Like,
you mean ideas in terms of style?
Yeah, like where it was recorded, how it was recorded, who you're going to record it with?
We still, it's too early, like it's quite early still for us to know everything because we still haven't even booked it, but we are obviously thinking of probably keeping the same producer because he was part of Red Method, and he took a huge part of the band at the time when it was recorded, but it might be that we don't. So it just, it really depends on the time when we're going to record it and where and money and the whole situation, I guess. Yeah.
So Alex, are you going to raise the sound of the keyboard and lower the guitar tone, for example?
Yeah, it's going to be aggressive flute solos.
Alex, when we go on stage again, bro, like play with a flute. Like get a flute and just
I'll go Jethro Tull, man.
Man, win a Grammy 1999.
You know, bro.
Actually,
you know what you should do? You should get that keyboard guitar that Twiggy Ramirez used to play, man, so you could walk with everybody.
Guitar.
Get it on wireless too, so you can be with me.
To be honest, actually, I'll tell you what. When it comes to electronics, since it came up, we are really approaching it in a completely different way on this album, and I think it's going to be something fresh that I don't think you hear much out there, because usually electronics are like a later on idea, like an atmosphere or something. This time I think we've come up with a cunning plan to make it a part of the music instead of an atmospheric or a glue of the music, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Anyway, it will all make sense when it comes out. It might not work. We might have to go back to being atmospheric, but we have a good idea on what to Yeah.
So in other words, yes, you are going to lower the guitar tone. I get that. I get that.
Of course, man. Who wants guitar?
It's true.
2021? Is it 2021?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Guitar's old school, bro.
yeah. So obviously, with the answers that you've already gave, it's clear that Red Method is a band where all members contribute to the songwriting then. So with 6 guys in the band then, how would you say you keep it all together, like when negotiating what stays in and what goes out of the song? Is there like blood on the walls and fisticuffs in the studio and stuff like that? Or?
I think Jeremy has a very good idea of what he, what sounds like bad to him, and I trust it, because I think we agree on what's shit and what's good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I think what Alex said is right. It's I think because partly we've been doing this for so long as well, that when you hear something that's not right, it just sticks out like a, it just sticks out immediately, and we know it's not going to work. It's not going to sit right in the mix for whatever reason it is. It could be frequency, it could be it just doesn't fit, style, different things, and it's just we just won't put it in. We'll just try a new idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's when you first write music, you think it's good just because you wrote it. But the more you write music, the more you're like, hang on, man, would I buy this? Until you're in love with your song, you've got to work on it,
From a guitar standpoint, it's like, it's less about the intricacy or the notes, or you literally have to, what I've found I've had to do is take my ego and put it in the bin.
Yeah.
Right. And it's more about, okay, there's an essence, there's a vibe, there's a style, to whatever it is that we're hearing, and we've got to try and interpret it the best that we can. That might mean that a riff might change 200 times before we get in a studio, but that's the whole point. It's about communicating that vibe, because what the thing is with For the Sick, the music is moving.
Yeah.
Right. You might not remember that riff from a technical standpoint or whatever it is, but it hits you in here. And I think this band is very good at being able to do that. But in order to do that, you have to really think about the essence of the song, the structure, how it's going to move, and then use whatever it is that you've got within you to sort of execute that. And, there'll be a point where we will get in, we'll be in a rehearsal studio playing these songs over and over again, and things might change again.
Yeah.
But it's about going through that and keeping the pulse of it and making it work,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what else is going to be different on this new album. 100%. The solos are going to be fucking radical, man. Quinton is taking his guitar playing to the next level, man. And I know he's going to be all bashful, but he's, have you been on his site, Quinton's Guitar Corner?
No, I've not.
You want to learn how to, there's a free episode on how to sweep pick, right?
Yeah, that's just come out today.
You release every week, don't you?
Every day almost.
Yeah.
Every day.
Well,
yeah, there's something.
To be honest with you, I'll probably be the best air guitarist that you're likely to meet.
That's all good, man.
I
love air guitars. So.
I bought a BC Rich about 10 years ago, and I put it on my lap ready to play it, and I was like, why is it not making a noise? I actually forgot you had to learn how to play it.
Killer, man.
So it didn't last very long, I'm afraid.
All good, man.
Yep.
Right, thanks very much for that, guys. So the debut album lyrically deals with mental health, and a song that I could personally relate to is Absent. Unfortunately, my gran had dementia, and my father's unfortunately now falling into the same footsteps. So, Jeremy, with you being the vocalist then, do you write all the lyrics, or do you welcome contributions from the band as well?
I mostly wrote for the Sick. I mostly wrote it 98% myself, but that's because nobody else wrote at the time. But Dave wrote a few lines as well. And for the second record, I'm sure that Quinton and Alex will also contribute to lyrics once we've got some concepts in mind of what and I've got patterns are coming out and stuff. So yeah, it would be, I think the second record, like we said before, will be more contributed in different areas.
Yeah, Alex, is that a huge pressure off your mind as well? You've got a guy that will just do all the majority of the lyrics, because that is certainly something that I wouldn't be able to do. It's a talent in itself. Especially
well,
with the video, for example, the new video.
Yeah, I was. It's not a pressure off me. I really enjoy it. I mean, I was in a band called The Defiled, and I was the main lyricist in that one. I find it quite cathartic and quite yeah, I think if you write lyrics, you really don't need a psychiatrist because then it's someone else's problem, you know. So no, I yeah, I love that process of going through stuff like studying different I don't know, whatever you want to be into, and you know, finally coming out with the concept and a through line. And yeah, and it's great that, you know, we're all open to working together. So yeah, it's really nice.
So will that include yourself, Quentin?
I mean, yeah, to a certain degree. You know, I tend to gravitate more towards like specific lines that might resonate with me and all that kind of stuff, and then, you know, take that and put it into what we're playing or whatever. Like one of my favorite lines that I think has been written in Red Method is in The Absent, funnily enough, when he says this is the end, you know, and that's something that resonates with me quite personally. So like it's a big, I mean, I wouldn't say that I have like, you know, I'm a lyrical genius or nothing. No way. But like,
come on, man.
You know, every now and again, I might put in a word here and there, and that's about it, really. It's just but it's all good, man. It's all about getting the message across. So
cool. Totally cool about the message. So again, we're going to go back to the debut album, but you just released it before the first lockdown. So like every other band then releasing music at this time, it must be pissing off that you didn't get that much time to promote it in a live environment. So what touring commitments did you have planned that got shelved in 2020 and the first half of this year?
Go on, Jeremy. Tell them your pain.
Sorry, the line's pretty bad down here, man.
So,
I half of that.
Basically, he's asking what touring commitments we had. Well, Jeremy, I'll just tell you, Jeremy had booked the for the Sick tour. And yeah, basically the last time we played was our first gig on that tour in February last year, and then we went straight headfirst into lockdown. And I think you've rebooked it 3 times. Oh, Jeremy left. He can't take it anymore. He doesn't even he can't stand the pain. But yeah, we released our soundtrack to the apocalypse for the Sick, and then we had to all go home, man. We didn't want to believe it. We kept rescheduling, but yeah, it was impossible in the end. So all of them, we were supposed to play Bloodstock, Download. We were supposed to go to Europe.
Techfest as well.
Techfest. We had it all lined up, man. That's why we're working so hard during this pandemic, just to not disappear in the shuffle. We want to be at the top of everyone's mind when they're thinking of lineups and what have you. So yeah, I hope we've done what it takes.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting though, because obviously you've not really played your debut album live yet, but when it comes to playing live, you'll have quite a lot of new songs. So it'll be interesting to see what your set list, if you've got like a 30-40 minute gig, you know.
It will I think when we come back out this first round, it will predominantly be for the Sick centric in terms of a set. You know, it'll be more focused on that. As time goes on, I think the thing is as well, you know, as much as you flesh out songs, like new songs and all that kind of stuff, you don't want to play it live prematurely either.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't, and at the same time, you also don't want demo-itis either. So it's like we'll strike that balance, and when the time is right, we'll start playing new stuff live. But I think we all owe it to ourselves to play a lot of this album live, because we'd rehearsed it solidly for like 2 years as a band, like playing it, and then we started playing it live, parts of it when we were in 2019, going right through the year, and we were a solid machine like going into that. And then it was like, okay, let's play the first show of For the Sick, and then it all went.
Do you remember as well? It was a faux boat. The fire alarm went off before
Yeah,
we
fire
came on
alarm went
stage for
off.
that gig. Everyone had to go out, come back in. Like,
Yeah, we
you could
literally
tell
thought
something wasn't. Yeah.
quite right. Yeah, like we were about to play, like, but the band before, I think someone had lit up like a cigarette or something on stage, and it set off all the fire alarms. So everyone got evacuated out of the venue, and we were like, "Are we gonna lose people coming back in?" And thankfully, they all came back, and they watched our set, and it was brutal.
They were a really
It was
good crowd too, man. Kingston.
Yeah, it was great. It was really good.
So good, and we're all craving for that to come back. So
it's good to see
Sorry.
you, Jeremy, but I was just wondering though, because there was obviously no gigs, there was a number of virtual gigs. Was this something that you maybe considered, Jeremy, like doing a virtual gig and keeping the name out there, or were you more focused on like keeping the videos coming out, for example?
Yeah, I mean, we did consider it, and we even looked at venues and even these companies that specifically deal with live streaming and stuff like that at the time. But I think we were so caught up with our own songs and our own concepts and our own keep momentum with a band somehow. And deep down, I think it resonated in all of us that it felt a bit weird, because I went to see one of my mates' Voices, and they did like a live streaming, and I was looking at everything they did, and I was there and I filmed it and I showed these guys, and we're like, oh my God, this looks, it's just, it was just like the band playing in a room empty. It's just the vibes not there. It's just like,
let's just be honest, Jeremy. It looks shit, bro.
It was shit. It was shit. And we just thought, you know what, we're gonna avoid this, and we're just gonna concentrate on just releasing some videos. And we did two, like Quinton and Alex said before, throughout the pandemic, and it worked really well for us. And then we released the reworks, and we did the last single, Slaves, as well. That was really good. And we kept it like that, and I thought we had a bigger opportunity and chance to expose ourselves like that, rather than just doing live streaming. That sounds like a pile of shit, really.
Yeah. I've seen
in our slippers.
Well, it must be a strange feeling just looking out to an empty room. But I did see a band who I'm sure you're all well aware of, Ingested. I saw their live performance, and I thought it was stunning. It was DVD quality. But then again, he's just saying things. I hope you're smashing up your couch in your living room and stuff like that. It's just not the same.
No, it isn't. But then at the same time, I mean, the thing is, like, we give it in rehearsals. We're one of those bands, right? So, like, when we're rehearsing a set, we rehearse a set. And the thing is, it's like, we don't want to, some bands can make it work. I'm not saying we can't. It's just, we wanted to be able to, if we were going to do it, we would need to go all in.
Yeah.
Right. And going all in would basically entail, and we're all, huge critics of ourselves. We want the best, and we want to give the best. And that's the thing. And when we've seen quite a lot of live streams, and because the technology is only really at its peak, getting to its peak now, some bands like, Silosis Trivium, they did really well with that stuff. But in order to get it into what it needs to be, we want to be utilizing the best of the best to be able to get that point across. And with a band like ours, we're very much about the live experience, and making it, there were so many discussions about it. There were a lot, but I think now that, and I do think that if time had gone on, maybe we'd eventually have done one.
Yeah.
But now that things are sort of opening up a bit and things are changing, it makes sense for us to go back to playing live to an audience. And even if they're all sitting down, I don't care. Like, playing, in front of people and just spreading the message that way,
Yeah, we grew up listening to bands that really give you a show, man. And I think that's what we want to put across. You'd never see, I don't know, like Rob Zombie or Manson or any of these people who put on like huge shows. Everybody, the bassist in his kitchen and me and that wouldn't work for us. We want to be a band. When we come on stage, it's go time. It's not like, oh, look, what did they do? Okay, so seems a bit I don't know, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looked like people had run out of ideas and they were just clutching at whatever.
Yeah. So you talked about rehearsing as well. So where do you record and where do you rehearse your songs? And when was the actual last time that you were together as a band?
Last weekend.
Recently. Last weekend only.
Last weekend we were together for the video, and the weekend before that it was the first time we'd rehearsed as a full band since February. I mean, we had a rehearsal in like September before, but in terms of full band rehearsal, getting getting ourselves just kind of like in a room together, that was literally in the last 2 weeks or so, and we'll be doing that a lot more. We tend to come together when kind of the timing is right, like because we're all darted all over the place. I mean, we talk every day with there's always something happening in the band. In terms of physically getting us in a room together, it does it takes the time that it needs, but when we do it, it's like it just works. It makes sense, straight up.
But I'd imagine though that Quentin, you must have looked at Alex after all that time. Say, what is it you play again? Who are you?
No, it was very much a thing of like, oh, this is the guy that throws the keyboard at me. He's that guy. Or into my guitar, and I've got a bigger guitar now, so I'll be able to fight back when we play live.
We're going to talk about our instruments in a wee second first, but I know one of the gigs that you've got lined up in the near future in October is Badgerfest. So is Badgerfest something that you're looking forward to playing?
Yeah, our bass player is going to bring 2 bags of, don't tell anybody, 2 bags of badgers. We're going to release it there on the stage on the plane. As a surprise, don't tell anybody.
I believe you, Jeremy. I believe you.
If anyone can do it,
we'll do it. But we are. It's a sold out gig already, and the guy's I've been very close to the guy talking to for the last few months, and he can't wait to do. I'm very happy what he's done, and he's promoted it really well till he's got it sold out. So it's going to be a rammed up little fest,
Yeah.
So it's going to be a good one, definitely one that we're going to give it hard, make them pay. I think Alex is planning a good one for that one, so I was going to go.
Well,
I'm going.
What we're going to do, Alex?
I can't, man. It's something to do with my stack of tricks.
Well, I'm coming down for it. We're going to have a team. We're going to have a team there, and we're actually going to be in the bar, and we're going to do live interviews. So this isn't going to be the only interview that I do with you guys.
Oh, killer!
We'll do live interviews, and we'll certainly watch your show, and we'll definitely get that pint in the bar.
Yeah, we're playing in Manchester soon, man. Like in the next month. So if you want to come down, we'll try and put you in the guest list.
You nearly bring a tear to my eye there, so you didn't. Yeah.
It's only 3 hours away from you, apparently.
Oh shit! Yeah. Fuck. Sorry. Yeah.
That'll be cool. But I'm definitely going to see in Badgerfest, if not before. But I was just wondering if there's any other bands in the bill that you're going to be keeping an eye on. Any bands that you're looking forward to seeing yourself?
Well, for me, it's going to be good catching up with our dudes in Chrysler. Definitely, man, we love those dudes. We've played a few shows with them over time, and we've all known them in previous outfits over the years. So it's always good catching up with those boys. For me, see Speedhorn as well. From back in the day.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing them.
We got to be because Raging Speedhorn were going to be the main support for Phil and Selma, and they never showed up. So we were the main support for Phil and Selma. So we owe them a beer. So we'll probably get them one.
Yeah, we'll dedicate a song to them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're mainly the bands for sure. For me to check out.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a good Scottish contingent as well coming down. I mean, there's God Eater and there's Iron Altar and 1 or 2 others as well. So
killer.
It's going to be absolutely brilliant. Seeing a sold out place, it's going to be rammed. Actually having a pit stage dive. The last gig I was at, I actually stage dived off the bar, so I can see myself.
Oh, amazing.
I'm 47, but I refuse to accept my age. But
tell me about it.
It's like you said, Jeremy, though, like Badgerfest has just got bigger and bigger every year. And and John Badger's just an absolutely top-notch guy as well. So how did you get
He
on
is.
to Badgerfest? Did you apply for it, or did John actually approach you guys? Do you remember?
I kind of already, when we played Badgerfest last, I think it was a year ago or two, already said, when you do the next one, you better get us in again. It's like, definitely. Since then, I've always been, hey, what's going on, you know? Like,
Reminding them.
yeah, I grind them to the floor. All these devils.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. If you learn anything from Jeremy, is he gets his way, man, and he doesn't fuck around. He goes out,
he
puts his boots on.
that's it, man. And it's true.
To be honest, what I've seen of his physique, I wouldn't mess with him. So if you're gonna say you can buy me a pint, I'll end up buying him a pint.
Safe, man.
Yeah, but Badgerfest, can't wait for it to happen. Can't wait for it to happen. I've been trying to come down for the last couple of years, but this time, like I say, we're going to be a team there. So it's going to be absolutely brilliant.
Cool.
Wicked.
I've just got two more questions for you then. Before the internet, magazines and fanzines were the places to find out about new bands and trends, but now publications are being replaced with thousands of websites catering for all genres. So do you think that some of the passion's been lost, or do you think the internet has been a good thing for music and a good thing for Red Method?
I think you can look if you're used to the old guard and the old way of doing things, you'll be very confused right now, because you're like, okay, gotta get on Metal Hammer, gotta get on Kerrang, and like that's not the way to do it anymore, really. But the good thing about it's no longer centralized. That's all there is to it, and you can build your own crowd. And I know everybody knows that, everybody talks about this, but it's what's happening, and you got to build your own crowd, and you got to, and then the labels and everyone will come to you. You don't need that many fans to make a living, man, and we don't have to kick each other and elbow each other out the way to get to be on the cover of this magazine or to get that record deal. It's not that anymore. All the bands can help each other, can promote each other, and we don't need the man anymore, man. I think it's a very positive thing. If I was to be nostalgic, I mean, I kind of used to like, the one band that the record label was like, this is the band now, and they'd become like gods, a phenomenon. But that's, we're living in a different time, and I think it's more punk rock now, man. As a matter of fact, like we grew up saying, don't be a sellout and all this shit. Now you can literally tell everybody to kiss my ass or our asses and make a living, man. Sell our t-shirts online, arrange our tours. You just don't need anyone anymore. And it's a very scary thing for the industry, but for musicians, I think it's a plus, definitely.
Thank you very much, Alex. Thank you for your constructive argument. Quentin, what do you think? What do you think, Quentin?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely an element of that. I mean, and I think we're also a prime example of that, exactly what Alex is kind of saying. I mean, not to say that we've not, utilized help when we've needed to, but it's very, it is the six of us that operate, Red Method, and have taken what it is to, do things. Sure that, there are people in the band that do steer the ship and do, steer things and have a sense of direction or whatever, but we don't have a booking agency, we don't have management, we don't have, all the sort of I don't know, like additions that you
bells
would have.
And whistles.
Yeah, bells and whistles.
Outside
bells and whistles.
team.
Yeah, outside team. Like very much, it is very much us just being DIY punk rock, going for it as much as we can and utilizing the tools that are available these days. Obviously, and again, from a nostalgic sense, yeah, I used to love, picking up Metal Hammer once a month and Kerrang every week, but we don't live in that time anymore. It's very as useful as it is and as good as it is, and it still holds its weight in terms of, okay, well, our band was in Kerrang or Metal Hammer whenever. The thing is, we live in a world now where it's just everything is viral. You know,
Yeah.
you need you get one viral video out as a band, and then that's what people are going to associate you with. That's where all the views come. That's where all the, you know, the influx of people. You know, now it's all about demographics and who you can bring in and all that sort of stuff. And the internet is it's like the Wild West almost. But you know, you got to make what you can out of it and go from there.
Thank you very much for that, Quentin.
The bottom of the truth. The bottom of the truth is you gotta know who the fuck you know. If not, you ain't got shit. Trust me, man.
It's who you know.
It could be viral. It could be textiles. Or it could be whatever it is.
It could be viral. It could be textiles.
Yeah. It is who you know.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of constructive arguments in there.
Anyway.
I've got my cassettes in there, and I remember, and vinyl as well, and I always remember the days CDs should be burned, you know. But now you've got like Spotify and stuff like that, and you listen to a band, and I remember that you guys obviously remember the days as well. You would send £2 away or £1 away for a demo tape, and a couple of days later you would get it, and you would open up, you'll get a letter from the band, and you'll hear the demo tape, and you listen to it, and you're like, I don't know if I like this. But because you've paid for it and you've invested in it, you give it a chance and a chance. Now you can go onto Spotify, listen to a song, 10 seconds, oh, that's pish. There's another million bands that are doing this too. I'll just listen to the next one. So sometimes it can be too dismissive.
Yeah, totally.
Double-edged sword.
100%. I mean, you know, it's very much a thing of like, you know, it's just, you know, most of your time is spent with your thumbs, right? It's all about scrolling up and again feeling like you have less time. And you know, it is literally, and that's exactly why, you know, we've not gone down the live stream route, because you think about how many people will be checking us out and all that, and we want the first impression to be the best impression always. Like always, like when we play live, when we release anything, it's the same thing. And, you know, even with this whole, you know, with the last year, you know, doing a bunch of DIY videos, we knew we couldn't stick to that too long. You know, because it was like, okay, well, the world's kind of waking up now, so we need to go back up again and pull everything up with us. Otherwise you just end up, like Alex says and what Jeremy says, you know, getting lost in the shuffle. And you don't, we you know, we've been in the gutter way too many times as people to not, you know, to not want to get lost in the shuffle. So he's hoping, for sure.
It's how you learn, though, isn't it? You'll know not to do the same thing the next time. So, but it's great to hear that you've got complete enthusiasm, the wrong word, self-belief that this band are going to make some noise. And from what I've seen so far, it's like I said, you've got yourself a new fan. So it's just getting your name out there and keeping on going. But we could have started another 40-minute session, because now I'm going to ask you guys about the instruments that you play. So Quentin, we'll start off with yourself. What's your guitar of choice? What are you going to use to record the next album?
Yeah, so I'm endorsed by a company called Solar Guitars, and I use their 8 strings strictly, pretty much, and we've been using them all over the demos. We're using them to record solos with. Love them. They're perfect for me. So, and they're really lending themselves to the character of what's coming out. So yeah, I love them pretty much.
An 8-string guitar, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeremy, is he just showing off, or does he actually use them all?
I do use them all.
He does. We make sure he does use all of it.
Yeah, have to.
What about your pedals?
Pedals. I don't really use any pedals. I just use like an amplifier that switches or has all my sounds in there that I need, and then I just use the accompanying foot switch that goes with it, and that's it. And at some point I want to do away with that foot switch so I don't have to step on it, or if other members, hint, Alex, step on my stuff live, you know, but it's all good. We'll see what comes of it. But yeah, I've been using that. But then in the studio, it will probably be a couple of like Eddie Van Halen signature amp heads. That seems to fit the sound of the band the best. And, you know, through a bunch of Mesa Boogie cabs, and get that live analog guitar sound that we kind of need, because as much as we, you know, embrace all the new stuff, nothing sounds better than analog to me, at least. So, you know, and it is all about that sound of pushing air and, you know, getting the right sound down for the studio, for sure. So yeah, Solar guitars, Kemper amplifiers, and Hawk picks, and Newtone strings.
And
to me.
Stramberg guitars, where everything's getting written as well. So don't forget that.
Yeah.
So what about yourself, Jeremy? Like, being the vocalist then, have you gone through a range of microphones before you finally settled on one that you like? Or
I don't give a shit, man, really. I just use whatever there is.
Yeah.
Like,
SM58 till you die, bro.
As long as you can growl and you can sing, that doesn't matter. You can use whatever. Although lately I bought like in-ear monitors and all sorts of, you know, funny little things to test. But I haven't even done it yet. We bought all the new gear, then we went on lockdown, and I haven't even tested it. But we are going to be coming back live, hopefully, with new gear and new stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not fussy really. It's as long as it gets a message across and it cuts through. That's the main thing. I do use a pedal live sometimes just for the choruses to give it some like.
Oh yeah, you do. Which one is that?
That's like a Digitech. That's a Digitech. I use Shure. Basically, I use Shure and Digitech pedal and everything. Yeah, in-ear monitors is all Shure gear. So yeah.
I'm going to boost your ego a wee bit, Jeremy, because you're clean singing, your harsh vocals, and your death growls. Especially when you, it's difficult to do it in a live environment, like change your vocal range in a split second. So it's definitely a talent. So
cheers, man. Thank you. Yeah, I've been
that you can learn overnight.
Over the years, I've been trying to just really perfect the low growls and the low death metal. There's tons of, you know, death metal singers, and they're great. Don't get me wrong, they're fucking amazing. But the clarity of the death metal vocals is just, it just sounds like a monster munch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've never been into that. It puts me off. I like the Corpse Grinder. You know what I mean? Cannibal Corpse, really precise, or you know, Lamb of God. You know, which is low, but it's really clinical. You know, I mean, it's very precise, very well said, and very clear. And that's the hard bit, is to get it clear, get your death metal vocals clear. If you're not clear, you're full of garbage, man. You better do something different.
Well,
really. But yeah, cheers, bro. Wicked, man. Appreciate that, brother.
You're welcome. A death metal band of today that epitomised everything that you just said there about vocals is Lick from Sweden, L-I-K. Honestly, just Lick, L-I-K.
I think you'll find it's Jeremy that epitomizes that.
Yeah.
Just in tune with this member, and it's absolutely brilliant. But listen, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Oh no, sorry.
All right,
sorry,
I guess you don't need to know what I mean.
Love it.
Do you know what it is?
Cool,
I've never interviewed a
no.
keyboardist before, so I just forgot. I do apologise.
It's over, bro.
But do you know what? I've done that on purpose because I'm absolutely disgusted on the way that you treat your keyboard on stage. You throw it about, you crash it, you bang it. Take care of your bloody instrument.
He throws it at me
I'm a keyboard player, bro. I want something cool to do.
So how many keyboards have you went through in your time?
I couldn't even dare to guess, man. I used to break a keyboard every gig back in the day. I literally couldn't tell you. It's hundreds. I don't know if it's thousands, probably not. I don't know.
You could have been a millionaire by now.
Huh?
You could have been a millionaire by now.
Yeah, I know. No, they used to give them to me. The love is all gone. Where is the love? But I've had the same setup for more than 10, 15 years now. I use a Roland A500 Pro as my keyboard, trigger finger to trigger samples, a Chaos pad to glitch stuff, and a bit of angel dust to top things off.
Doing an interview.
That's my setup, man.
So Quentin, does he ever miss?
Alex uses every plugin there is in the world. Alex uses every plugin there is, everything.
I do.
Does he ever miss a key? Like does he ever miss a key because the keyboard's like 20 feet up in the air and stuff like that?
No, he does
Not
it at
even
a time
once.
No, not even once.
Nothing.
No.
Not
Like
even
a
one, man. He never misses it. He's a machine.
Yeah,
I do
Like,
give up
he's,
my keys at the end.
I've seen that dude like in my peripheral vision while I'm playing. He's swinging on like rafters, manages to drop kick me, and then plays into just go straight into it. And it's like
They'll think that I abuse you, bro.
Oh, dude, you do. You don't even realize. Like, it's so funny. It's one of the funniest things. And like, I'm always injured after our shows.
right. I wanted to interview you guys. I didn't want to start a fight in between the band, and I've only seen the papers tomorrow, and you guys have split up.
The end. Yeah. This is why that lyric is so.
The end.
Poignant.
End.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, listen, guys.
Anyway, boys, it's a pleasure.
Yes, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys. Just one last thing, like, where will we find you guys on social media?
Red Method everywhere. Instagram, Facebook.
Quentin.
What?
I was waiting for that.
Bandcamp.
Yeah,
What
everywhere.
else?
Like pretty much what Alex says, man. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, especially.
Bandcamp.
Bandcamp too. You can find us all there. So.
No, good stuff.
Google Red Method band metal. I don't know.
And it will come up.
Assholes.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, I did. Managed to research your guys quite easily, so
that's good.
Definitely everywhere. And listen, I'm looking forward to seeing Badgerfest, if not before. I'll certainly be watching you from the side of the stage, and I'll certainly interview you down as well over a pint. And I'll get a signed album from you as well. I'll buy you an album and I'll get you all to sign it. But listen, guys,
fucking safe, man.
And I'll see you in a couple of months.
Cheers,
guys.
I'm gonna get you on stage, man. I'm gonna get you on stage, bro. Yeah. Badgerfest. I'm gonna call you up to stage
to release the badgers.
Release the badgers.
Yeah, man. Shout out, go Ricky.
Yeah, to release the badgers.
Good stuff. Right,
Thank you, Ricky.
See you guys in a couple of months.